Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, so read this article, had some very interesting data in it. We're going to go over it. This is about South Florida real estate market. The title of the article is Experts Say Overvalued Market Causing South Florida Real Estate Prices to be so high. So we're going to talk about the overvalued market because they do acknowledge the market's overvalued. Okay. Real estate economist Ken Johnson says South Florida homes are overvalued, right? Whatever that means. We're definitely in probably the worst housing affordability crisis we've seen in Miami in the last 40 years, said Johnson. Miami Metro, which is all the way up to Palm Beach County, is pricing out roughly 30% above long-term pricing. Rental markets are roughly 22% above their long-term premium. That makes the most overpriced market in the country. Let's talk about this. Overpriced strictly based on that they've gone up.
Right. So they're talking about affordability, and they're kind of conflating those two, right? They're conflating affordability with overpriced. And yes, I see that point. But at the end of the day, why is that happening, right? So it's happening because Florida has seen a huge influx of people over the last 2 years for a variety of reasons. But there's been this whole let's move to Florida movement.
Yeah. A lot of these people are coming from the Northeast where they've just had it.
Right.
Of course, Florida doesn't have the ability to just build a ton of houses really quickly. This is another thing from the article. We have a population influx that's even greater than before, even greater than 12 years ago. And more importantly, we have a huge inventory shortage. So forget the word overvalued. You have low inventory. You have high demand, supply and demand. So that pushes the price up as the demand and supply curves shift this way. That equilibrium price goes up. You have two curves and they shift and then prices go up, right? One shifts to the left, one shifts to the right. As more people move from other states, they're competing with the locals for relatively few houses for sale, supply and demand. But yes, they're acknowledging that this influx has changed. It's not speculation. It's just more people are moving down there, right?
Right. So remember, Florida traditionally has been a place where people move when they retire, but that hasn't been the case over the last 2 years. Over the last 2 years, it's been working people moving to Florida, people starting businesses, people relocating their businesses, people moving to Florida to work there remotely where their employer might be in another area. So it's also a demographic shift of the people moving to Florida, and then that needs to be acknowledged as well.
Okay. People have been talking about a housing crash, and all these people are going to be forced to put their house in the market to sell, right? But where I'm going to read this one, and I want you to explain it to them. Okay. We had the period of 2 years when interest rates were so low and you had so many people that were able to refinance. So everyone refinanced and everyone bought a home at 2.5% or whatever. So now there's a bunch of people that are sitting with a very low mortgage payment that are like, why am I going to sell? Where am I going to go?
Right.
So let's talk about this. Are these people, would it make any sense to sell? Like even if they bought a house a year ago and the market fell and they were upside down, why would they, they're not forced, just because the house is worth less than what you paid for it, are you forced, does it trigger some clause in the mortgage where you're forced, I got to sell the house?
No, so here's the deal. Look, if you're sitting on a 3% mortgage, 3.5% mortgage, 4% mortgage, you're still killing it, right? You're still able to afford ostensibly a bigger house and a better house than you would if you went out and tried to buy a house with the same payment today, right? Or rent. So no, I mean, look, these people who are sitting on a great mortgage payment, congratulations. You are unlikely to sell that property for a very long period of time because it will be a moment before you see 2.75, 3%, 3.5%, 4% mortgages again. So you're sitting pretty and you're unlikely to want to sell. It just doesn't make sense because your mortgage payment is less than what you would pay if you were renting. It's less than what you would pay if you were purchasing a lesser house today.
Johnson said the high prices don't seem to be coming down anytime soon. This is important because what did we just say about the beginning of the article? It was all overpriced. It's overvalued. Overvalued makes people believe that it's above the equilibrium value. But the equilibrium value has changed to a new higher value. What looks more likely is we're going to, in a prolonged period of unaffordable housing, either to own or rent in Miami Metro. He said, there's not an easy way out of this other than to build units and build them as quickly as we can. We just did a video where we talked about this. What are home builders not doing?
They're not building. So remember, we just did a video where we talked about how home builders are not pulling permits, they're building less homes, and we're still in this situation where we have more people chasing fewer homes, and with builders building less homes, this is not a situation that's going to be remedied anytime soon.
Everything I have heard has been anecdotal about, okay, so we had somebody say, well, I talked to an agent in SoCal, and they said that they had a house on the market for a week and didn't get an offer. Like, oh my God, like a whole week? Like that, they didn't sell it in a week? That's, the housing market's going to explode. It's like, if you don't sell within a week, you have to give it away. It's free. It's $1, right? Like, seriously? Or, oh, well, we used to get 20 offers. Now we only get 5. It's a total buyer's market now. And then I looked up one of the markets where in SoCal, it was still said it was the market index was like 85, like still a super hot market. Here's the bottom line. Yes, home prices, mortgage rates going up and home prices going up have certainly made homes more unaffordable. No question. Homes are a lot less affordable. Okay. Guess what? They're still more affordable than they were when interest rates were 10, 12%, right? Even though the home because wages are up substantially compared to that. Okay. The other thing is we have all these cash buyers coming in. We've did a whole video on that. The hedge funds have bought up all the inventory. You still have people who are going to buy house. This is not going to stop people from buying houses. If you want to buy a house, you're going to buy the house. This is what you're going to do. Instead of buying that $500,000 house, you can buy a $400,000 house or a $350,000 house for the same payment as you would have bought a year ago, the $500,000 house. So you're still going to buy a house, it's just be a cheaper house. Or you'll say, let's suck it up. Let's buy the house that we really want. We'll make $600 more a month payment. Okay. We'll figure out how to do it. Then when interest rates tank again, we'll refi. Because right now, 0 people are refining. I heard from somebody who owns a mortgage company that 90% of loan officers were let go, told, hey, you're not going to ever get business, because they were making all their money doing refis. They were finding those people with 3.5% rates, giving them 2.5% rates last year. They were all doing all these refis. There's 0 refis because the only way, if interest rates are 5.75%, the only way you can refi is if your current rate is more, and nobody has that rate. Everyone I know, even people that bought, and I do know somebody who had they bought a $1.3 million house. They owe $700,000 or $800,000, and they told me, well, I had a 3.75% interest rate, but I just refinanced to a 15-year, like 2.8%. So the payment's the same, but the interest rate's a lot less. So they basically, I'm making the same payment, but now I'm going to pay it off in 15 years because the interest rate went down. Why? They can never sell. They actually can't sell. They'd be stupid to sell. They'd be better off just rent it. They could rent it out and make money. So what's going to happen is you're going to have all these people you're going to have this frozen housing market where people can't sell. So yes, there are people who will have to sell, and they will try to sell. They won't get 15 offers in the first week, right? We never said the housing market wouldn't go down. We said it won't crash. We still, long term, if you're betting, I don't know what prices are going to be like next year, and I don't know what they're going to be like in 6 months. But I bet 5 or 10 years, I bet they're higher. I bet home prices in 5 years are higher. So you have to now subscribe.
If you like the video, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, share the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.